Hi, my name is Dave Mong. Welcome to another episode of Meet the Gaffer. Today we're going to talk about generator basics. Let's check out our vehicle. Up front, here's our van, and we have one air vent control for the generator here that we'll come back to right over here. And let's check out the rest. Here in the back, we have an area where you can store cable and also the rest of your electrical distribution and GAC. You can see we have some cable and we have a flow through and some small little electrical items. And around this side here is where the main controls are for the generator. Now that you're familiar with the vehicle, another thing about using a generator is levelage, keeping it level. It is a motor. It has liquids, it has different fluids. Keeping it balanced and level is very important, just like a vehicle. But definitely, it still is operatable and workable in non-level conditions. One way to level is using leveling blocks. And for this particular drivable, I've used a curb as my way to level up. So you can have half the vehicle up on the curve while the other half is on the road. And that actually usually solves a lot of the leveling issues. All right, let's get started. Let's get some power. First off, with this generator, we have to make sure the air vent is open. It's a very simple switch here for the sunroof. You just hit open, listen for the motor, and once it stops, we know it's open. And here we go. And here we have our main control panel and our power supply where all the power comes out of. Let's get started. First, let's turn on our computer here, our monitor. And as it's loading up, if the air vent was not open, you'll see a little alarm message here indicating that, and you just go back around and open her up. And here you go. Here, everything's good to go. You can see our metering page. These are our three legs, red, blue, and black. There's a current meter, your volts, frequency, run hours, fuel level, battery level, and your oil, and over here the RPMs. Once the engine gets started, you'll see it operating. Once we're ready to go and you're all set, for this particular generator, it's very easy to start. You just hit the start button here and she turns right on. So this is where we decide on phase selection. Usually at the beginning of the job, the gaffer and his Genny op will decide on what phase to choose based on the tools that they'll be using. And here's the switch. And as you can see here, you have your dial and you have your different phases. You have your three-phase and you have your single phase here. And in this particular generator, you have an option to go 480 at three-phase as well. And currently you can see that it is set for three-phase. Let's go ahead and start up our generator. There you go. Now she's running. For my particular generator, there is no idle stage. Once it's on, she's at full RPM speed. To send the power, what you would have to do is to flip the physical breaker. Now that the generator is up and running and warming up, let's go ahead, get plugged in and run our power distribution. There's a particular order that we plug in, and we always start with the ground first, neutral, and then our following hot legs. And the reason why we do that is once the ground is plugged in, if there's any kind of freak accident with the hot legs, the power won't flow through you, but flow through the ground instead. So this is just an additional way to make sure that you're safe. Let's get plugged in. Once our main power to our generator is connected, we should make sure that the other end of the cable is capped off. And that's what the term that we use is called capping it off. And as you can see here, we have everything plugged in the order and color coded that it needs to be. And once that is ready, we let our generator operator or best way know that everything is capped off, and they can go ahead and send the power. Let's go ahead and do that. And there she goes, power sent, very simple. Now what we do next is we go to the end of our line to make sure that the voltage matches our voltage readout on our generator. As you can see here, we have a simple electrical meter. This particular flow through makes it very simple. They have easy access points color coded to show you where each of the hot leg and where you can take your readings. So it makes your life much easier. And here we go. We'll start with our ground and our neutral. And we see that we don't get any power reading, which is the proper setting. And then now we move on to our next hot legs. And it looks good at 122 for our black leg. About 121.5 for our blue leg. And about 121 to 122 for our red leg. So it looks like our voltage is at the right spot, and we can go back and on our generator and double check to make sure our readings are matching. Now it's the end of the day. They've yelled martini, they checked the gate, and it's wrap time. Very simple to shut down. First step, normally what we do is we shut down our main breaker. So we shut down our power, and then we disconnect our cable. In this case, we disconnect in reverse in how we plugged in. We plugged in by going ground first. We'll disconnect by disconnecting our power legs first. Now that you have the cable disconnected and wrapped up, that's usually a good amount of time for a cool down for the generator. And once that's done, you go ahead and shut her down, and it's simple as just pressing the stop button. And just by audio alone, you can hear her shutting down and gurgling to a stop. And once it's down, you go ahead and flip off the switch, close the lid, and you're done. So one of the advantages about this generator is you can cable in and out of the vehicle very cleanly and discreetly. I have one of these little rat holes here that you can open up, and you can reach down and pull the cable through and connect this way. And this way you can shut the doors completely. You don't see the cable run, and everything looks very discreet and clean.